You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Spring will be here soon, so if buying a new home is on your to-do list, right now is the time to call Quicken Loans. Learn about which mortgage options make sense for you and get a jump on your competition. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Sesame Ginger Glazed Chicken Signature Wrap. How would you like it?
I'll take a...
Sports announcer at home?
Yeah, how'd you...
We just know.
My wife picks up the new Signature Wrap. It's got double the rotisserie-style chicken mixed with a sesame ginger glaze. She appears annoyed at me, but she shrugs it off. Those sweet and savory flavors are calling her name. She lifts the wrap and she takes the bite! Incredible! And now she's closing the door on my... Subway, make it what you want.
Limited time only at participating restaurants. Double meat basement, average 6-inch sub.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Welcome to the Hardcore Patriot.
The crumbs that they are giving to workers is so pathetic.
No one is below rule of law's protection. No one is above its reproach.
Listen. Run if you're ready to run. Fight if you're ready to fight. Time is right to make your choice. Make your choice tonight. But if you're winning the fight, till you're shining bright. Time is right to choose your fate. Choose your fate tonight.
What difference at this point does it make?
Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in.
Every who down in Flyoverville liked Trump a lot. But the Democrats who lived on Capitol Hill, well, they did not. The Dems hated Trump the whole Trump season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be perhaps that their shoes were too tight. It could be that their heads weren't screwed on just right. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that their brains were 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, their brains or their shoes, they stood there on impeachment eve hating the Who's. Staring down their elite noses with a sour, the Dems frowned at the warm, lighted, happy flyover state town. For they knew all Who's in flyover lands were busy working and not needing their social programs. They don't believe collusion, they snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is impeachment. It's practically here. Then they growled with their Dem fingers nervously drumming. We must find some way to stop the Trump supporters from coming. For tomorrow we know all the who flyover state knobs will wake bright and early and ignore us again, those uneducated slobs. And then, oh, the noise, 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 noise. There's one thing we hate. It's all the noise, 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 noise. They'll shriek, squeak, and squeal, racing around on their wheels. They'll dance with jing-tinglers tied onto their heels. They'll blow their flu-fluvers and bang their tartukas. They'll blow their woo-hoopers and they'll wear MAGA hat tukas. They'll spin their Trump spinners and they'll slam their slunkas. They'll beat their Trump lupas and they'll wham their who-wonkas. And they'll play noisy games like Zuzitakarzeri, a roller skate type of lacrosse and croquet. And then they'll make ear-splitting noises, by golly, as they make their way to the next Trump rally. Then the Who's, young and old, will sit down to a feast. And they'll feast, and they'll feast, and they'll feast, feast, feast. They'll feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, and none of it will be paid for by our social EBTs. And then they'll do something we hate most of all. Every Who in Flyoverville, the tall and the small, they'll stand close together while Liberty Bell's ringing. They'll vote against us because they don't believe what the media brings. Then they'll sing, they'll sing, they'll sing, sing, sing. And the more the Dems thought of this Who hick thing, the more the Dems thought we must stop the whole thing. Why, for 53 years we put up with it now. We must stop Trump from winning. But how? Then they got an idea. An awful idea. The Dems got a wonderful, awful idea. We know just what to do, the Dems laughed in their throats. We'll go to the press room and lie to the news. And they chuckled and clucked. What a great commie trick. We'll impeach the orange man and we'll make it look like he's sick. Then they slithered and slunk with smiles most unpleasant round the whole room, and they set a bad precedent. They got Adam Schiff, who said very dumbly, I just made up the opening statement. It was supposed to be funny. Then they slunk to the basement and took secret testimony from shady leftists who were full of baloney. They gathered lapdog professors as quick as a flash, old communist hippies who had smoked too much hash. They called their witnesses who testified with glee, but then changed all their stories when cross-examined by the GOP. When then the Dems, they started to screech and shove, but they heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. They turned around fast, and they saw a small number. It was their approval ratings. People thought they were getting dumber. But you know, those old Dems were so disingenuous and so slick. They thought up of a lie, and they thought it up quick. Why, my sweet flyover state lot, the fake Democrats lied, this is something we have to do. We're sad at the thought. The president did some bad things, my dears, but we really can't explain what they are, but just trust us a little here. And their fib fooled no one. They all saw right through. Well, except Jennifer Rubin, Tom Nichols, and Max Boot. But the Dems said, look, we know what's best, bub. And they ran to the press, who ate that stuff up. Then they dragged out Pelosi, that mumbling old liar, and she called for her minions to vote to fire. Impeach the orange man, or our time will expire. And they voted to impeach, never once thinking that no one believed them. Their approval numbers were stinking. The impeachment went through, The Dems were fake grieving, but they celebrated behind the scenes, thinking no one would be seeing. Then the mumbling Pelosi looked bereaved and bereft. If I send these articles to the Senate, McConnell will laugh. We've managed to screw ourselves. We're in a tight spot. Our numbers are tanked, but the Donalds are not. These unsavory, uncultured flyover state hicks, they aren't buying this whole impeachment shtick. They're just waking up, and I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will yawn for a minute or two. Then the flyover state who's down in Flyoverville will just carry on with their tools. They don't even care, sighed the Dems in disgust. We told them they were supposed to. We told them they must. But they did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low. Then it started to grow. But this sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded glad. Every who down in Flyoverville, the unwashed, red-necked, and smelly, laughed at the Dems and went to the next Trump rally. They hadn't stopped Trump from trumping. He survived. Somehow or other, he was still alive. And the Dems, with their Dem feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? He's alive, even though we impeached him. He lives. He's still in the Oval Office. What gives? They puzzled and they puzzed until their puzzlers were sore. Then the Dems thought of something they hadn't before. Maybe, they thought, they don't like us no more. No, that can't be it. What's not to adore? And then what happened? Well, in Flyoverville, they say, the Dems' small brains shrunk 3 more sizes that day. The true meaning of freedom came through for the rest, but the Dems found themselves trying to spin their epic mess. And on the Senate floor, Cocaine Mitch was heard to say, "Bring on those articles. I'm ready to play." But the Dems made up excuses and, like cowards, ran away. So have a Merry Christmas, one and all, and don't be afraid, because Pelosi and these Democrats could screw up a one-man parade. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. I'm Alan Ray, the hardcore patriot. Did you like that? I you know what? It was just one of those rare moments of genius that I experienced maybe 3 times in my life. I couldn't help myself. How are you? How are you? I hope you're doing well. It is a beautiful December day down here in the cornfield of southeastern Michigan. Having the time of my life. It's been a busy week. I have been doing a lot of things outside of here, including moving my mom, who seems to like to move during December. Oh, well, that's okay. We're having fun doing it. And I still have a little bit of Christmas shopping to do. And I threw out on Twitter yesterday, I got $50 to spend. What do I buy for my wife? And there were a ton of responses. Really good ideas. You guys kind of rock. But hey, you know what? This is the Hardcore Patriot. And we do have to kind of address some things that are going on in the world right now. Well, at least in our corner of the world. And everything is about impeachment. 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 It's all about impeachment. Oh, yes. The Democrats finally got their wet dream and they impeached the president. Well, technically, they really haven't impeached the president yet. And we're finding this out. Even their very own witness, one of the slime balls that they interviewed in front of the Democrat committee, put it best. It's not an impeachment until you take it to the Senate. You have to announce it on the floor of the Senate. Hey, guys, we've impeached this president. Hey, here's the articles. It's up to you now. But Nancy Pelosi and her infinite stupidity, well, actually, she's a little wiser than what we thought. She's not going to give the Senate those articles of impeachment until after the new year. Why? A couple of reasons, I suspect. Number one, she knows that Mitch McConnell is not taking this thing seriously at all. He sees right through their scam. You see, they have been shouting for impeachment since before Donald Trump was even elected, and it got worse even after the first day he was elected. The first day. He hadn't even taken office yet. And Maxine Waters and her bunch of mental midgets are out there going, we got to find a way to impeach this guy. They've been beating this drum since day one. And let's go over actually what the articles of impeachment say, okay? This, and Mitch McConnell said it best. He goes, this is shoddy. McConnell, in fact, he was ripping Pelosi on Fox News, saying the Dems are afraid to transmit these shoddy articles. Let me look at this here. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell set the stage Thursday for a potentially bruising fight between leadership of the two chambers over impeachment as he tore into Nancy Pelosi for shoddy work and said Democrats may be too afraid to send the articles to the Senate after the House Speaker abruptly held off on transmitting them. Quote, this particular House of Representatives has let its partisan rage at this particular president create toxic new precedent that will echo well into the future, unquote, McConnell said on the floor. And that's right. It's right. The next Democrat president, I guarantee you, they are going to be subjected to this entire impeachment farce. I don't like it, to tell you the truth. In fact, I will call, if the GOP starts doing this, if a Democrat's elected, unless there is an actual crime, I will call my representative and say, lay off. We are not them. They're stupid. We are intellectuals. But anyways, I digress. McConnell said on the floor, accusing Democrats of giving into temptation with their impeachment vote while challenging their handling of the articles in the aftermath. Now, that is foretelling. Mitch McConnell has already said pretty much flat out that this was a shoddy, railroading, vague impeachment. The articles, here's what they've actually impeached him on. Now, is it Russian collusion? No, because they couldn't find collusion with Russia. In fact, they found a bunch of collusion with Hillary Clinton paying for the Steele dossier through Russian agents. There's all kinds of stuff out there about that. Was it the Ukraine telephone call? No, because if you remember right, Nancy Pelosi said, well, President Trump won't turn the transcripts over because he's afraid. Well, President Trump said, here you go. Here they are. There was no evidence. They brought up person after person after person. And after they used words like, I assume, I heard, this person told me, and then they got cross-examined by the GOP and asked flat out, do you have evidence? Every one of them would say, no, I don't. So it can't be the Ukraine phone call. So what are the articles of impeachment for? Two things. Number one, abuse of presidential power. Let me think about abuse of... Give me a sip of coffee here. Black Rifle coffee. Gotta love that stuff. Presidential power abuse. Would this be similar to, I don't know, the last president unconstitutionally trying to outlaw 223 ammunition, going completely against the Second Amendment? Presidential abuse like that? If we wanted to go down that road, we better start dredging up almost every single president since George Washington. They've all pushed the envelope. They've all pushed the limits. Presidential abuse of power. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess, you know, the problem with Donald Trump is he does what every other single president does. He just talks about it. The other ones didn't. And then I'm listening to some of these morons that are running for primary candidate for the Democrat Party, comparing what he's done to Richard Nixon in Watergate. Except one tiny little thing. Every time one of their witnesses was asked point blank, did the president pressure Ukraine? Every one of them says no. Uh-oh, there's a problem. See, we're not supposed to notice that. We're just supposed to hear the vague language, hear the I assumes, hear language like allegedly and things like that. We're supposed to ignore those words because those are technical words that are outs. Okay, when these people are pressed, did you lie under oath? Well, I said allegedly. I said I assume. I use these words that gave me an out so I wouldn't end up in prison for lying under oath. Slick, very smart. However, people like all of the brainiacs that I hang out with, I not being one of them. I'm just this flyover state hick sitting here in Gadsden Studios bringing you what I think is going on. But a lot of the geniuses I hang with, and they're smart people, way above what I can think, they say the same things. There was no pressure. And the reason these people want this thing to go through and don't want you to listen to these words is that Joe Biden's wrapped up into all of this stuff. Hunter Biden, his son, is doing some bad things. And if it all comes out, well, Biden's done as a presidential candidate. I think he's done anyways. The guy is losing his mind. And I was listening to Limbaugh on the way into work yesterday, and he was talking about even the Democrats are turning against him. President Barack Obama's personal doctor came out and said Joe Biden is in very bad health. He is a stroke victim waiting to happen. See, you're starting to see them turn on Biden. He's an old white dude. They don't want him in there. Unfortunately, they are the party of old white people. I told you that last time. They're weeding out all the diversity out of their forum. We'll see it. But I digress. Nancy Pelosi knows. She knows that it's over. When she sends these articles of impeachment to McConnell with things like abuse of presidential power. Oh, yeah, there's the second item, too, that I almost forgot about. Obstruction of Congress. What the heck is obstruction of Congress? That's the other laughable thing. Mitch McConnell's going to look at that and go, what? What are you talking about? You see, the Democrats they still think that the blue wave happened in 2016. They think that since they took the House, which, oh, by the way, it's not everything. It's just the House. The Senate belongs to the GOP. There is a Republican president. And now, thanks to Donald Trump and his administration getting busy, there is a whole bunch of federal level judges who are constitutional conservatives. That spells problems. But yet the Democrats are walking around like little rhesus monkeys, pounding their chest and hooting like they want to be big silverback gorillas. And they're saying, well, see, we've got the House, so we're controlling everything. There's a new sheriff in town. There's not. Really, there's not. They're not. They control the House. That's it. Obstruction of Congress means that President Donald Trump looked at their request for him to show up. Not legally binding request, just a request. To testify before Congress. To have them look down their noses at him and scold him like a naughty schoolboy, he looked at that and went, no, I don't think I'm going to show up. You guys really don't mean that much to me. And guess what? That's your obstruction of Congress. That's your obstruction of Congress. Anyways, they are afraid to send this to the Senate. Now, if I were Mitch McConnell, I would say you have 24 hours to send us these articles of impeachment. Or two things are going to happen. Either one, we're going to investigate everything from the very, very first scene where you used a dossier full of lies to persuade a FISA judge to give you unlimited spying power on an American citizen. And every single time we run across a law that has been broken, left or right, whoever it is, we're going to just hand them off to the Department of Justice and say, this needs to be prosecuted. This needs to be investigated. And go all the way through it and run this investigation, run this thing all the way up till the night before the election. Or, this is what I think he's going to do, he is going to look at this pathetic sham of an impeachment, and like he's already said, this is the smallest stack of impeachment articles we've ever seen. It's shoddy. It's worthless. And he's going to turn around and he's going to say, do you guys want to continue with this? Let's have a vote. And everybody's going to vote no, right along party lines. He's going to toss it in the trash and say, yeah, we're really not interested. Throw your temper tantrum somewhere else and we're going to move on. Yeah, but you see, Nancy Pelosi believes that this is what's going to happen. She thinks, and she's convinced, listen to her, and this she thinks is what's going to happen, because she's already getting you started in believing that there's absolutely no way that the Senate is going to have a, quote, fair, unquote, hearing on this. And by fair, she means, and the Democrats mean, that the Senate, run by Republicans, are supposed to play by the Democrats' rules. Otherwise, it's illegitimate. And this is what it's all about, folks. This is what it's all about. Legitimacy. They don't want Donald Trump to be the legitimate president, even though the vast, overwhelming majority of states voted for him. They don't want it to be legitimate, because if they make it legitimate, it tells their voting base that they were rejected. And that cannot be, because it is the only way to think, according to them. So they go through this impeachment. They finally think they found some shred of something that they can impeach him for. They get it through. And she is already starting to say that the Senate will not hold a legitimate hearing. Therefore, none of this can be legitimate. And they will strut around like chickens saying, see, told you, none of it's legitimate. That's their go-to. That is their go-to. We saw it with George W. Bush. We saw it with George H.W. Bush. We saw it with Ronald Reagan. Legitimacy. The whole thing with the left every single time is about destroying the legitimacy. And if you're not awake to that now, when will you be awake? And in Nancy Pelosi's own words, we see this.
The risk, as some Republicans have said, of looking like you're playing games with impeachment if you hold on to these articles for too long.
I said what I was going to say, Nancy. When we bring the bill, which is, just so you know, there's a bill made in order by the Rules Committee that we can call up at any time in order to send it over to the Senate and to have the provisions in there to pay for the impeachment. And then the next step.
What? What are you talking about? What did she even say? That's her Speaker of the House. That is the left Speaker of the House. That can't speak. It's a clown show, dog and pony show, this whole thing. And it's starting to catch on. independent voters are starting to look at this and go, what in the world is going on? And their numbers are tanking. I just get this feeling that Nancy Pelosi caved to Adam Schiff and all those the squad and all those little fringe lunatic leftists. I don't think she wanted this. And I think she knows where this is going. I think she knows that they just took out their gun and shot themselves square in the foot. And now all they can do is pray that they can sell this legitimacy thing, or lack thereof, to their voting base and to the independents. Because let's face it, like I said before, it's all about the independent vote. Man, we are already at the bottom of the hour. We're going to take a little break. Thank you for listening to The Hardcore Patriot. I'm Alan Ray on KLRNRadio.com, where liberty and reason still reign, and we are having a blast this weekend before Christmas. I'll be back in just a moment, and when I come back, we're going to look at the cool things that are going on around us that happened in 2019 that you probably, I'm sure you're aware of because you're an intelligent group of people. You listen to me. Be back in just a moment.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
How dare you, the liberal elites, the condescending bureaucrats, and every other kind of swamp critter in this godforsaken place tell the American public who the president should be. That's the job of the American voter, not yours. This whole flipping goat rodeo is a sham and a shame, and it will not be forgotten.
Goat rodeo. Goat rodeo. I'm Alan Ray, the Hardcore Patriot. Welcome back to my show. Goat rodeo. That's beautiful. I think that should just be. I'm learning all kinds of new. I got all kinds of new terminology lately. Goat rodeo. That is the actual new thing that we should just be calling impeachment. I have another new one that I came up with this week. Pseudocons. Pseudocons. They are the people who, for some reason, they claim to be conservatives, but every single time anything happens, they come out siding with the Democrats. In fact, even on social programs and other basic conservative ideals, as long as it has to do with defeating Donald Trump. These are the people who would sell their mothers because they loathe the fact that, well, their candidate didn't get into office. We used to call them turncoats, I think, back in the Revolutionary War. Pretty much. I have no use for pseudocons. Welcome back. Merry Christmas. I'm Alan Ray, the Hardcore Patriot, on KLRNRadio.com, where liberty and reason still reign. I hope you are having a great holiday season. We have just a few more days until Christmas. This weekend, I will not be doing what I usually do the weekend before Christmas. I will be moving my mother. And then on Sunday, I have a show in a little place in my hometown of Adrian, Michigan, with my guitar player, Ricky. We will be jamming out, doing a little acoustic stuff, and it's going to be fun. I like having fun. You know, and I think people do too. And I'm looking at everything that has been going on with this goat rodeo that's been capturing the media. The media thinks that this goat rodeo impeachment thing is what life is all about. And they're just now starting to catch wind that people don't care. Nobody cares. There's only the hardcore people who want this person gone from the Oval Office really care. Unfortunately, the majority, remember, these people are all about Hillary Clinton losing in 2016 because the majority voted for her, but yet all of the states, except for just a few, voted for Donald Trump, and he won, and they got their butts chapped about it. The majority of people are starting to find this whole impeachment thing repulsive. They're bored with it. It means nothing to them. There's no smoking gun. There's no solid evidence. They're tired of it. They're being pushed down into the abyss of apathy. That's very, very bad for the Democrats. And, you know, you would think that these dunderheads would have learned from the GOP. The GOP gave them the history on this. All you have to do is just flip back to the impeachment of William Jefferson Clinton. The GOP hounded on him. And they actually had a real breach, a real legal issue. He lied before Congress. He flat out lied. A lot of people think it was oral sex in the White House that got him impeached. No. I got a feeling that goes on a lot more than what you think. I just have that feeling. I've always had that feeling. When it even first came out, I was like, okay, whatever. He lied before Congress, and that's what nailed him. He could have kept his mouth shut and said, I refuse to answer that question on the grounds it may incriminate me. And I really don't care what you think. He had the majority of the American people behind his back. And, even people like me towards the end of his impeachment, even though I didn't, I didn't agree with any of Bill Clinton's politics. Towards the end of that whole impeachment trial, I was going, man, just leave the guy alone. Leave him alone. Let him do his thing. Vote him out. We'll move on. I was getting tired of it. Turns out so is America. Because the GOP took it up the wazoo the next election. They showed the Democrats what happens when you go down this road. But the GOP had a real crime. The Democrats don't even have a real crime. They've impeached him on vague concepts. And we see it. We, the people, see it. But, here's the thing. I'm gonna propose this to you. You can tell me I'm full of crap. I don't care. I know I'm full of crap most of the time. I personally, now let's just step back 1 second. Let me explain myself. The people who support Trump are already going to vote for him. It doesn't matter. It would take something pretty darn profound for them not to vote for him. The people on the right have looked at the Democrat candidates and seen how far left these Fruit Loops have gotten. These morons have gotten. They're basically communist lights. And they don't want anything to do with it. So they're going to vote for Donald Trump. Because even if they don't like him, they know what the alternative is. People who support the Democrat Party, who donate their money, are going to vote for the Democrat Party. It doesn't matter which one of these yahoos are selected to represent the Democrat Party when it comes time for the presidential debates and to, when next November rolls around. It doesn't matter which one is in charge of the party. They're going to vote for him, even if they have to hold their nose. Because they've been convinced all of their lives that conservatism is completely wrong and it's going to destroy the nation, even though it made our nation the nation it is today, the great, beautiful nation it is today. They've been told that it's wrong. So they're going to vote left. It's not about either one of those. Take those, lay it all out on the table. Paint a red line up to a certain point, paint a blue line up to a certain point, and then cut those lines and shove them off onto the floor. We already know what's going to happen there. What you have left are the independent voters, the people who don't really maybe not pay attention to politics that much. Or if they do, they've got this mindset, there needs to be balance. There needs to be left. There needs to be right. It's what benefits me or my family. Yeah, okay, I'll go to the polls and I'll vote, but just because it's my patriotic duty to do so. But I got other things going on. I don't really pay attention to what's going on in D.C. Or if I do pay attention to what's going on in D.C., I don't like either party. There's that group too. I don't like either party. So whatever one impresses me, that's what I'm going to vote for. Okay, these are the people that matter. These are the independent voters. They matter. And let's face it, this is what both parties fight for every election. Right now, the left is over there and they're pushing Leftsville. They're pushing Commie-ville. They're pushing every single social program they can to get the left's vote to be the representative of the Democrat Party. That's why you're seeing them go so far left. You're looking at them going, oh my gosh. You might as well have Marx and Pol Pot and all those people running for president. That's why they're pushing that far left. Once one of them gets voted in to the primary, they will suddenly do a 180 and jerk right into as much of a centrist as they can possibly portray themselves. Because it's all about the independent vote. And giving that information, talking about that information, let's look at what the Democrats have to face going into 2020 by looking at what just happened in 2019. TheBalance.com has an article today, U.S. Economic Outlook for 2019 and Beyond. The U.S. economic outlook is healthy, according to the key economic indicators. The most critical indicator is the gross domestic product, which measures the nation's production output. The GDP growth rate is expected to remain between the 2 and 3% ideal range. Unemployment is forecasted to continue at the natural rate. There isn't too much inflation or deflation. That is a Goldilocks economy. President Trump promised to, increase the economic growth to 4%, and that could be faster than what's actually healthy. However, in the overview of all this stuff, we are going into 2020 with a very healthy economy with reasonable interest rates. This is the kind of economy that people like you and I, normal, everyday, average, middle-class people, we like this. We can afford this. We can do this. We can live like this. Jobs are aplenty. If you don't have a job right now, it's not a job market thing. It's a you thing. Or as one person put it, if you're able to breathe and walk around, you pretty much can get a job. And in this society, in what we have now here in 2019, you can be pretty messed up physically. And you can even have some mental issues and still get a pretty decent job. Places like Lot Industries are hiring the mentally handicapped, the physically handicapped. If you're physically incapable, but yet you can work on a computer at home and you're pretty good with a computer or you want to learn to it, you can still make money sitting at home. Albeit not the greatest job, but you can still provide. You don't have to depend on big government social programs. That scares the Democrats. You see, they have to have calamity. They have to have misfortune. They have to have people dependent on them in order for them to be relevant, because they're all about everybody having something given to them by this benevolent behemoth of a government. And if nobody needs the government, nobody needs the Democrats. They know this. They know this. So they have to portray to you that it's not all roses, that it's going to collapse. Well, the economic outlook says, well, it may not. And if 2020 is like 2019, which they're saying it's probably going to be unless something really tragic happens, well, that's another uphill battle the Democrats have to fight. Because, and now this is my degree coming out. This is what I've studied going to college coming out. This is the organizational leadership business degree that I have. One of the big things you learn is, especially in change management, is people don't like to change when they're comfortable. People don't like to change when there's no reason to change. They have to be convinced that they're all going to die, which is the Democrats' mantra. You look at everything they have. Oh, the climate, we're all going to die. The economy, we're all going to die. Jobs, we're all going to die. People are going to die. That's their mantra. But everybody's seeing through it. You look out your window. There's no pollution in the sky. It's a beautiful day. It's a typical December in Michigan. It's cold. We just came through a 12-degree few nights there. I'm going to be ice fishing pretty soon here. Of course, it's supposed to warm up a little bit this weekend. Thank God. But nobody's really believing the climate thing. Just the wackos, the tree huggers. And now the economy is looking really good for 2020. That is going to be a hard thing to overcome. If jobs are still aplenty going into November of next year, people are going to see that. There was a presidential debate last night, right? You know that. I'd forgotten all about it. It was our Christmas party at work, and I was eating. I was on my rare third plate of food. I only do one plate of food. I ate 3 plates of food last night. I'm miserable today. What a stupid thing to do, but man, was it good. Was it great? But anyways, one of the questions was, in order to save the planet, are you willing to cut jobs? And Joe Biden, in his infinite stupidity, said, yes, hundreds of thousands of jobs will have to be cut in order for us to promote the Green New Deal. Are you listening, UAW? Are you listening, unions? Are you listening? They're talking about your people right there. You back these idiot Democrats. Every election, you back them. And every time they get done being voted in, they turn around and kick you in the teeth. Every single time. It's infuriating that you people still vote for these morons. And they turn right around and they kick your front teeth out and then expect you to vote for them the next time. Now, I'm talking to individual union members here. You can do something about this. You can go to your union representatives and say, you know what, we're tired of you people backing these morons. They want our jobs taken away. They screwed us under the Obama administration. They told us these jobs weren't coming back. But yet, here we are. In Michigan alone, Ford just said, hey, we got this new plant going on. We're going to bring a bunch of jobs back to Michigan. Chrysler has brought a bunch of jobs back to Michigan. Chevy, GM is hiring. And that's just the big 3. You scroll through monster.com. There is a buttload of jobs, and a lot of them are union jobs coming back. If I was a union leader, I would go, guys, we really need to think about these Democrats. Do we really want to support them? They're not helping us. Economic indicators. We got Black Friday. Black Friday. Okay, here's a little thing for you, right? You're going to love this. Black Friday was huge this year. Huge. One thing you didn't realize, though, Black Friday had the second highest gun sales volume ever. The FBI handled 202,465 NICS checks on Black Friday, the second highest single-day volume on record. Apparently, firearms are the thing. This is AmericanRifleman.org, by the way. But that was just guns. Black Friday this year was huge. A lot of it happens online anymore. I don't go out on Black Friday. If you listen to I Do This for Free last week, I told you this very specifically. I don't people like that anymore. I can't people like that. That kind of a crowd, I just sit there and I go, oh my gosh, no way. I can't do it. I shopped online. In fact, I've shopped online so efficiently and so much that I'm going to have to go out for probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Tomorrow, maybe Sunday. Sunday after my gig, I think will be the best. I'll go drop all my equipment off back at home and I'll go into Toledo maybe. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. And then I've just got a few little things to buy my wife, whom I love, and then I'm done. But Black Friday's huge this year. Great economic indicator. Oh, and by the way, here's a little thing too. With this impeachment dealio, the stock market completely ignored it. December 19th, 2019 at 3:09 p.m., Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 137 points, according to CNBC.com. Wall Street, and this is CNBC, okay, guys? This is coming from them. Wall Street was able to look past President Donald Trump's impeachment in the House since the odds of the Republican-led Senate convicting him are so slim. It's fairly obvious, this is a quote, it's fairly obvious that they're just not going to be a removal, unquote, remarked one investor on Thursday. Okay, you have to understand the stock market is fickle. They react to everything. And they totally ignored this impeachment. There was a big stock rally. And if you have 401k investments, 401b investments, IRAs, whatever, you made money. I'm looking at my Acorn investment, which I took a whole bunch of money out of. But it still has a little bit in it. And it made money yesterday. That's a good indicator. The stock market totally ignored the impeachment. It should have tanked, people. It should have gone under. We should be looking at losses. And we're not. That's a very good indicator of how much nobody really cares that the Democrats passed these articles of impeachment. And it's an indicator of how much people are seeing right through all of this. And how much people are looking at Christmas and going, we don't really care about impeachment. We care about this great economy and buying and spending time with our loved ones, buying them presents. We're not really paying attention to mumbling Nancy Pelosi and her crap. We don't care. We know it's going to go to the Senate, and the Senate's going to look at it, and they're going to file it in their circular file next to their desks. Plunk. It's gone. Nobody cares. I'm predicting, and here's the deal, and I started talking about this earlier. I don't think we've seen at all what is going to affect the final presidential vote in November. It hasn't surfaced yet. This impeachment thing, I doubt will be it unless the GOP picks it up and says, look what these idiots tried to do. Look what these idiots doing. And if they can do it to somebody with these vague articles, they will do it to anybody. They're trying to take this vote away from you and make it illegitimate. If I was the GOP right now, if I was the leadership, I would be making up simple to understand, which it has to be simple. People don't like to have to think anymore. It hurts them. Simple to understand phrases that lets the independent voters know that the Democrats keep trying to make the American people's choice illegitimate when it doesn't go their way. Their entire mantra is illegitimacy when you don't vote for them. And they have made the majority of the states. Now, let me back up a little bit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that Hillary Clinton had 2 million more votes. It matters the popular vote state to state to state to state. That's how we get fair representation amongst all 50 states. The overwhelming majority of the popular vote in each individual sovereign state in the Union of the United States of America voted for Donald Trump. And they want to take that legitimacy away. They want to make your vote irrelevant. That's what they're trying to do right now. But unfortunately, they're little rhesus monkeys beating their chests and hooting and hollering, trying to act like big silverback gorillas. It's not working. They're not convincing anybody. We're wrapping it up, folks. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. Get politics out of your minds for the next few days, okay? Just forget about it. Spend time with your loved ones. Don't focus on the material part of it. Don't run yourself into the ground trying to have the perfect Christmas. Have a blessed Christmas instead. Love the people around you. Remember things that happen throughout the year. Hug the people you love. Show them what they mean to you. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Don't let these morons hijack you. Have a blessed and Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating right now. Do it 100%. And be focused on the people around you. I'm Alan Ray, the Hardcore Patriot. God bless you. I will see you again after the New Year's. I'm out of here. Merry Christmas, everybody.